Good morning, everyone. Don's talk today is regarding trauma, and I just happen to have a wonderful book, Conversations on Trauma. The title is What Happened to You? Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing, written by Bruce Perry, MD, and Oprah Winfrey. And pick just this one. It's a marvelous book. Everybody should take a few minutes or days and read it. She wore gray like rain clouds. Those 6 words, heavy with truth, were what immediately drew me into Cynthia Bond's best-selling novel, Ruby. In writing the harrowing story of a courageous girl born of tragedy, locked in a battle with the horror she endured and the personal demons she faced, Cynthia drew on her years of working with homeless and at-risk youth, and on her own experience as a survivor of sexual abuse. After joining me for a book club conversation, Cynthia wrote an essay for O magazine detailing her mental health struggles. For the longest time, she wrote, she didn't know what was wrong. All she knew was that she viewed the world through a prism of pain. For many years, Cynthia wrote, I rarely slept, kept nightly vigils against my memories. Some mornings it felt like I was weighted to the bed. A deep shame descended. Why couldn't I buck up, get over it? I watched people bounce back from breakups, recover from job loss, foreclosures, and worse. I couldn't fix myself. I began to feel there was something wrong with my character. Cynthia prayed for what she called the ache to go away. And like so many people, women in particular, she learned to endure, soldiering on, wearing a mask of strength. Yet in her darkest moments, she contemplated taking her own life. Eventually, she was diagnosed with depression and PTSD. In the wake of the diagnosis, not everyone in her life was supportive. My voice became suspect. My decisions, my career, my ability to parent were questioned. Some never saw me the same way again. But over time, Cynthia found the support she needed. I learned I could have feelings without being disabled by them, that I had done nothing wrong, that I had no reason for shame. Cynthia's story makes me appreciate once more how daunting it can be to deal with past trauma. Many people, when they begin to think about trauma as it applies to their own life, have trouble recognizing the relationship between their early experiences and adult decision patterns. They rationalize their behavior as, that's just the way it is. Or in an effort to move quickly past any discomfort they encounter, they make light of it, find ways, both healthy and unhealthy, to soothe or simply bury it. Trauma is difficult to reconcile. In its essence, trauma is the lasting effects of emotional shock. If left unexamined, it can have long-term physical, emotional, and social consequences. I've spent my adult life listening to and absorbing stories of those consequences, the havoc wreaked by unresolved trauma. For me, there are actually 2 lenses through which to view what happened to you. There is the science-based explanation of the effect early trauma has on the brain, and then there are the myriad daily actions each of us take throughout our lives that are the result of and reflect back on that trauma. These are the actions that on the surface look like poor decisions, bad habits, self-sabotage, self-destruction, the actions that cause other people to judge. This is why I believe so strongly in the what happened to you approach. It avoids the judgment of what's wrong with you. Addiction of any kind, anxiety, depression, rage, difficulty holding a job, or a cycle of unhealthy relationships. What I know for sure is that all pain is the same, and I believe the despair that runs through nearly all destructive behavior is a deeply rooted feeling of unworthiness. There is a difference between thinking you deserve to be happy and knowing you are worthy of happiness. So often we block our blessings because we don't, at our core, feel that we're enough. Even if you've accumulated a house full of nice things, and the picture of your life fits inside a beautiful frame, if you have experienced trauma but haven't excavated it, the wounded parts of you will affect everything you've managed to build. This chapter is meant to help you recognize the clues indicating you have experienced trauma. My hope is that the tools developed by experts like Dr. Perry will help you start to pinpoint the moments that contributed to the person you are today. As you revisit your past, know that no matter what happened, your simply being here, alive, makes you worthy. And know that there is hope. As Cynthia wrote, wellness is possible. It happens one moment, one step at a time. Thank you.